Let's like start this live stream. All right. Um, Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jacob Cast 2024. We're gonna talk about WWE. Talk about Smackdown. This is Friday Smackdown, October 17, 2025. Review. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below. Y'all want to see more. This live stream will be like an hour and 10 minutes. This video is sponsored by PlayStation. It's sponsored by JD from New York. Fight for Pro Wrestling and Sound Off the Sound Off. Enjoy this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. We are going to talk about what happened tonight on Smackdown. We'll talk about AEW Dynamite. I think I'll talk about some of the news and rumors. We'll talk about the story on Andrade and the 90-day non-compete. And then we're going to go to a little bit of AEW Wrestle Dream. We'll go to a little bit of the predictions, because we know that Wrestle Dream is this Sunday. And we're going to talk, and then we'll talk about Smackdown. Now, Smackdown just went off the air at 10 o'clock. Smackdown was alright. Wasn't that much on the show, but it was alright. We got a couple good matches, a couple good storylines. Hold on. We got now for the news and rumors, the prediction for AEW Wrestle Dream. Andrade got screwed. Seth Rollins injury update. Alright. John Cena's last match. This new WWE contract causes. Will Toni Storm win her title back at Wrestle Dream? Okay. See what else I can find on here. The story begins. Is that the... No, it's not the right one. It says here that Andrade, 1 year, Andrade returned to AEW held up by WWE. 90 days, Andrade might be gone from AEW for 1 year. Alright, now let me go into Smackdown tonight. Friday Night Smackdown tonight was alright. Hold on. I want to show you some of the podcasters and some of the YouTubers. I want to let them in the super chat here.
The more information that comes out.
Alright.
About this entire full year.
Alright.
Just fire them and not pay.
Alright, so what happened on Smackdown? The Motor City Machine Guns celebrate their 1 year anniversary with the company. Cody Rhodes opened the show. Well, first Nick Aldis came out, and then Cody Rhodes came out. Cody Rhodes looks ahead to Saturday Night Main Event. We're probably going to get Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be Fatu. Fatu and written off TV. So they're still building up to Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre again. Cody Rhodes is having secondary feud, filler matches, because they don't deal with his title win. He didn't have a big feud. Drew McIntyre does a filler feud. But he came out there and cut a very decent promo. After that, we did get Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defending the tag team titles against Zaruka, Solo Ruka, and I think Katana James. They retained the tag team titles. We had a very good vignette with Aleister Black and his wife Zelina Vega are a necessary evil. So clearly the feud going to continue with Black and Damian Priest. I actually like the wife and the husband and wife duo. Aleister and Zelina Vega are very good together. Alright. Carmelo Hayes attacked The Miz during this brawl. So those two are going to feud. Alright, might will show you some of the podcasters here. Here's Denise Salcedo.
Remember, hard times breed better men. So make life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners.
Alright.
Ruined his opportunity. That was the moment that you knew someone big was going to come out and face Sami Zayn. So when it ended up being Ilja, I didn't think it was going to be Ilja. Like, I legitimately did not think it was going to be him. Like, some people were throwing out his name as a suggestion, but I did not think it was going to be him. So when Ilja did walk out, oh, I felt so happy, man, because he's legitimately one of my favorites. He has so much intensity in the ring. I feel like only a couple of people have that. He's such a good wrestler with about anybody. No matter what match it is, he is going to show out nonstop, right? I think today was a really good way to bring him back because he reminded everybody what he could do. Sami Zayn was the perfect person for his return because they were able to go out there and truly have a matchup that, for multiple reasons, is why I loved it. So the reason I loved this match was because this was, honest to God, this was a PLE match. This was something you could have seen on WrestleMania. Like, that's how good it was. Like, they went full throttle on this. In words of Jacob Fatu, all gas, no brakes. That's what this match was, and it was a reminder of who Ilja Dragunov is. And after this, not only did they remind people who Ilja is, but this was also such a great chemistry between Sami Zayn, and it's an instant classic. And then also now I want to see more of Ilja and Sami Zayn, but he is the new United States champion. It was 100% the right call. If you're going to have Sami Zayn lose to anybody, it should be him. And now there's a world of possibility of matches that he can have with different people on the show. Robin, when you think of the Smackdown roster, who are some of the potential matches that you want to see Ilja face against?
Well, you know what I'd like to see is...
It's been over a year since we've seen Ilja Dragunov. He's been out for over a year due to injury. He tore his ACL. His ACL. On Monday Night Raw. I thought he was going to come back on Raw. I know there's speculation that some people thought he might join the division, but he's on Smackdown. And it's good because Smackdown needs star power and it needs somebody on the show. We could look at Ilja Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes for your title. That's a match that we're interested in.
Him continue the challenge. Because, you know, in bringing him back, it played to his strength. It's kind of quiet, right? Like, it's not like we were, you know, it wasn't vignettes, it wasn't all this stuff, there wasn't a lot of smoke around it. He comes back and has the great match. But I would like to see him then extend that same thing, you know, that respect to Sami Zayn and what he did, because I think that would continue to enhance what he does best. So it could be Carmelo Hayes, and, you know, there's a lot of guys on the roster that you could have a good match with Dragunov, obviously, because of all the things you outlined. But to me, the vehicle is maybe a little bit more important, because that allows him to continue doing that without having to have it rooted in a feud or any of that other stuff, and can focus on the part of him that is his strength, while you refine the rest of it around it. Because I do, for him to get to the next step, there probably has to be a personality takeaway, you know, an enhancement to the overall package and everything like that. But in the meantime, you rely on what he does best, which is why you put the U.S. title on him, and then, you know, you go ahead and continue that open challenge. I think that would work really well.
You're 100% right. They have to do it because it's truly a gem on the show, and that's what honestly made me look forward to tuning into Smackdown, was seeing Sami Zayn go and defend the title. And I like the element of surprise of you never know who it's gonna be. And because Ilja has been gone for so long, there's so many people that he hasn't wrestled in a long time, like Carmelo Hayes, or people that he's never wrestled before. And like, I'm looking at the Smackdown roster, and some of the people that I think would make great matches for him, like Aleister Black. He's somebody that should be in there with him. Axiom is another one. Hell, bring back Javon Evans.
I was going to say Javon, not on the roster, but that's like perfect.
I'm with you. Carmelo Hayes, we mentioned just now, but of course they have massive history, so that's definitely one to go with. Rey Fenix was also part of the past one, so there's something there too. Again, the SmackDown division, those are pretty much like some of the names you're most likely to see there, but still, regardless, they're all fresh matchups, and it's a bummer too because We are losing Jacob Fatu though. Like I don't know how long Fatu is going to be out for, but they officially wrote him out today. He was supposed to be in a match with Drew McIntyre that a lot of us were very excited for. However, reports came out that he was injured and that he would most likely be written off of the actual matchup today, which they did do really late into the show. He was attacked backstage. I think we all know it was Drew McIntyre because he came out all cocky thinking he was just going to win the title by default. But it does suck, Robin, that we lost one. We gained one, but we lost one in terms of people that are very enjoyable to watch in the ring. But with Fatu being out, how are you feeling about that?
It was a little weird, right? Like the whole thing around it is a little weird because he was built the way he was, and then he kind of disappeared in a sense, and then it started like they were building him back, and then you hear, what are the reports that he has a non-wrestling related injury or some? I mean, I don't know. The circumstances around it are a little odd, which then led to a little bit of a scatter shot, ending there because you have this setup, and then all of a sudden, like Cody Rhodes is like, oh, here's a title match, here's a match, and I mean, it was salvaged. It made for a good ending. They were fired up and all that. That worked well. They didn't bury Drew in the process or none of that. But I do think the circumstances around the Fatu thing are a little strange, and it made for a non exactly logical ending based on what had been the seeds that had been planted.
Yeah, everybody was saying because when Nick Aldis came out there, and they were talking about how like, we're gonna have a number one contenders match, right? I thought right then and there that they were gonna say, hey, Jacob Fatu's out, this is not gonna happen. And then when they did it, I had like 50-50 brain. Like part of me was thinking, oh, maybe he's not hurt. Like, I was wishful thinking, right? I was hoping he wasn't hurt and that, something was gonna happen, that everything was gonna be okay. But Women's NXT North American Championship before NXT did, unless it was on purpose. I thought they had already announced the matchup. Did they not already announce the matchup?
I don't.
The rhythm going of, hey, we had this big massive moment close out Raw, so maybe we'll have this big massive moment closing out SmackDown. I thought that for a second.
Yeah, I did have that
between the MFTs and Wyatt 6. I don't know that I'm feeling that as the War Games match. I don't feel like either MFTs or the Wyatt 6 are that popular to me. Like, maybe I get it, like everybody loves the Wyatt 6, but just both of the two groups don't feel big enough to be the War Games match. I don't know. Am I the only person who feels this way? Because, like, even hearing you say that, I was like, like, it made me, like, it bummed me out. Like, I was just like, oh, that's the War Games match. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
it ain't gonna headline War Games, but on the card. So I don't know because when.
See, but that's not good. I feel like if you're gonna do the men's War Games and that's the men's War Games, like, wouldn't you think that would be headlining the show?
Well, it can. I mean, like just what you just said. It's not. There's not enough juice.
So then let's not do it.
Either group, but yeah, why can't it be on the card as a War Game? I guess. I don't know. I feel like the War Games on the other side might have gotten messed up by everything else that took place.
Seth and all of that, yeah.
Because I mean, you naturally had the Vision, and then the Usos and Roman Reigns and CM Punk and that group of characters. So I don't know what happened there, or if there's a possibility that that's a match and it's not a War Games match. But given the number of participants, it just makes sense as a War Games match to me. And then they'll sell the card around something else. Is Cena scheduled for that one?
I was hoping he'd be in a War Games match.
Yeah. So I looked at, by the way, side note, but I looked at tickets for his final.
Oh, I looked too. It's like thousands of dollars to try to get a seat.
At the top, because DC's right, it's only a few hours from me. I was like, and like, man, like the nosebleeds are like a grip,
Oh, hell no. Like, but I feel that if you are a massive John Cena fan, people are going to be, spending. But also, I would just wait and see if those ticket prices go down. Honestly, just like wait and see. Because I know people have been saying that they wait until last minute and they get like a drastically lower price on tickets. I'm testing it out, by the way, for Monday Night Raw. I'm not planning on going, but I've been following the ticket sales, like the ticket prices. So I'm keeping an eye out on it, and I'm going to see if that plan actually works.
I think it does, but not for a novelty thing like this.
Not for like a John Cena retirement.
Yeah, because you know it's his last match. Like for a big, like, let's say a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania, one of those events where people buy the tickets early and they go crazy, and then maybe as you get closer to the card, people drop out or they don't know what to do. You can capitalize in that fashion. I don't know how much they'll come down, given the ticket is good to say I was at John Cena's last match, no matter what happens otherwise.
Yeah, I think so too. People are gonna go crazy. Alrighty, I think we basically covered everything from Friday Night Smackdown today. So a fun show, a good show. Happy that we tuned in and we had a great time. Welcome back, Ilja Dragunov. Let's go. That's a wrap for us today. But
Alright, let's go into the other podcast.
Domino's Best Deal Ever is back. Get any hand-tossed pan, thin crust, or New York-style pizza with any toppings for just $9.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The return of Ilja Dragunov. He beat Sami Zayn. He also wore the cast on his knee. I wonder how long they're gonna have it. It's gonna be. It might be a transitional thing. Now, the YSS attempted to intimidate the MFTs. Well, the YSS had 5 people. Well, they do have Nikki Cross. It could be 4-on-4. We just don't know. Also, we got the Motor City Machine Gun versus Lok Gauza. The Machine Gun got the victory. A pretty quick match. That was very good. Jacob Fatu get taken out backstage by Drew McIntyre. He's getting written off TV. Apparently, they don't want to push Jacob Fatu. I don't know why. Alright. Smackdown was very short. I think what you remember the great return from Dragunov. Dragunov wins his first championship on the main roster.
Saturday into Sunday.
I'm glad there was someone new. He might be a transitional champion. We have to see how long does he held the belt for.
Manipulations of Damian Priest have been calculated for months, and he described himself in Zelina as the mirror, not the infection, and a necessary evil.
Everything had changed.
Jordan Grace, for sure. She's been ready. Sol Ruka's already on the main roster. You know they want to move up. That boy is bouncy. Devon.
No, but it was definitely... He's on a rant. Had a little bit of a different... Festive for the season. Hey, you know what? I gotta give a shout out to our good friends at ChatGPT. They put together a good SmackDown tonight. All hail our new
Oh, whoop, my bad.
AI overlords. Can't be any worse than some of the SmackDowns that we've gotten earlier this year. This was a good episode of SmackDown tonight. This was the second week in a row that the show had a little bit of a different feel to it. You could see that certain changes are being made. Hopefully more changes will be made in the weeks to come. There's still much work to be done. But they closed tonight's show with a big angle, because we had Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre in an impromptu match that was not announced coming into the show. And we don't know if it was for the WWE Championship or not. Even the announcers were wondering, is this for the WWE Championship? That was never clarified. That was by design. But what we had here was supposed to be a number 1 contenders match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, the winner of which would go on to become the next challenger for Cody Rhodes and the WWE title. And then a few days ago, unfortunately, we had a report, I believe Bodyslam.net was first to break the news, that Jacob Fatu had suffered a non-wrestling injury, which is very broad, and that can mean any number of things. That could be an injury, illness. They said injury. Not suffered in the ring. That would potentially keep him out not only for the rest of this year, but perhaps well into 2026. So that sounds serious. But WWE did not announce any changes to the show tonight. They were still advertising Drew McIntyre against Jacob Fatu. And so we come into this show and we see Jacob Fatu is there, and actually they're in his home territory. They were out in the Bay Area, so he was super over. And they made it very clear at the beginning of the show tonight that our main event was going to be Drew McIntyre against Jacob Fatu. And I said, I don't think so. Obviously, they're planning some sort of angle here, unless everybody's been swerved the last few days. And sure enough, they shot an injury angle to effectively write Fatu off of television. Drew McIntyre had no opponent. Cody Rhodes would not stand for this. He offered to put the WWE title on the line, and that's how we got our impromptu, probably not even 5-minute long main event between these two men here on this show, which ended via disqualification when Cody the Coward got himself disqualified. And this was a side of Cody Rhodes that we don't get to see very often. This was Cody Rhodes crashing out here at the end of this show. He was very pissed off. He tried to put Drew McIntyre through the announce desk, and that's how they went off the air. And the way things are currently set up, feels to me like we're going to get a proper rematch for the WWE Championship between these two men in 2 weeks. That's what I would do. Saturday night's main event. I know people are going to be upset that they didn't pull the trigger tonight, do a title change tonight. You don't do a title change tonight. This change in the main event was only made late in the afternoon. They didn't even know until maybe a couple of hours before the show that they were doing Cody Rhodes against Drew McIntyre. You don't give away and throw out a WWE title change quite like that. I mean, I'm all for shaking things up a little bit. Wait a couple of weeks. And then I'm all for a title change. But tonight was not the time to do it. Fatu getting injured, I mean, this angle they shot tonight would seem to confirm that he is hurt in some way. I don't know how long he'll be out for, but it sounds bad. And that sucks. Because I'm a big fan of Fatu, and it felt like after being gone for quite a period of time coming out of SummerSlam, he had reemerged, and it sounded like they were going to start to really get behind him as one of the top baby faces on this show. And then something like this happens. And so now you wonder, this all came together very last minute. So I am not convinced, chat GPT or otherwise, that they have a plan necessarily for where this is going to go. If not, they will have plenty of time to come up with one. This is actually what they did with Stone Cold back in '99 when he got run down by Rikishi. We didn't know it was Rikishi, and they didn't know either. They shot the angle because Austin was hurt. He couldn't wrestle. They had to do something. So they created this whodunit mystery out of who ran down Stone Cold. I don't know exactly when they figured out who they were going to go with, but you know it was months later that they figured it out. But this angle now, who attacked Jacob Fatu? Because Drew McIntyre made it very clear, I didn't do it. Now, he could be lying. Sure. Of course, he's a heel. That's what heels do. They lie. So, Drew McIntyre would be the obvious choice, right? He had a match with Fatu today. He would take him out, and therefore he wouldn't have to wrestle him. I don't think we're looking at Drew McIntyre as the attacker here for Jacob Fatu. Was Randy Orton the man who maybe attacked Fatu? Are they going to work him into this story? Very possible. There is another possibility, though. And I still feel the way that I felt months ago, in that it is not quite the right time yet to turn Cody Rhodes. But I will submit this to you. If the reports are true, and Jacob is going to be out for a while, right, many, many months, I am intrigued by the possibility that in the end, it is revealed, we see footage, that it was Cody Rhodes who took out Jacob Fatu. If Jacob is gone for a while, what if, well into 2026, even beyond WrestleMania, we come to find out when he comes back, and he's on a rampage trying to figure out who was the man who attacked him. Maybe even he doesn't know, right? Who attacked me? He's gonna go around murdering everybody until he finds the culprit who took all these months of his career away from him. But what if in the end we find out that it was Cody? You know, they had a little interaction on the show, backstage earlier tonight, and it was a very friendly, banter back and forth. But Fatu made it very clear that he was going to win tonight, and he was coming for Cody, and he was coming for the title. And keep in mind that Cody is coming off of a very embarrassing loss at Crown Jewel last weekend to Seth Rollins. You know, Cody has to get back to his winning ways. That's why he was so angry and pissed off tonight, right? So what if? What if Cody just is in this bit of desperation decided, you know what, this is someone that I really don't want to have any part of. This guy is starting to build some momentum. I don't want to deal with this guy. Everybody's going to think it's Drew anyway. I'll just come out and act all pissed off. Right? There are ways to make this work. And if the idea is when Jacob comes back, they want to really strap the rocket to him and make him the top babyface on SmackDown in the way that Braun Breaker better have that rocket strapped to him right now as the top heel on Raw. I'm very intrigued by that idea. Do I think that's what they're going to do? Probably not. But it's something that I would strongly consider, especially if he's going to be out for a while. Now, if Fatu's going to be out for 3 months, that's a little bit different. That would be premature to turn Cody this close to WrestleMania. You still haven't done the stuff with Randy. Although, again, a heel Cody and a babyface Randy Orton would be a dynamic there that a lot of people wouldn't be expecting. Again, I just throw that out there as an idea. More for the long term than the short term. Tonight, to answer the call in the Sami Zayn United States Championship Open Challenge, and my oh my, what a match that these two guys went out there and had. This U.S. Open Challenge has not missed. Not a single week. Some matches are better than others, sure, but there has yet to be a bad match in the bunch. And credit to Sami Zayn, because you could put him in the ring with anybody and you're guaranteed to have at least a good match. If you can't have at least a good match with Sami Zayn, then you have no business being in a wrestling ring. So every single week, I have been looking forward to this Open Challenge because it delivers every time. Even when SmackDown sucked, the U.S. Open Challenge was one thing that I could look at and go, hey, you know what? This is going to be great. And tonight was one of the best matches in the entire series. Dragunov comes back. They go out there for almost 20 minutes. They had a banger of a match. And not only did they have a great match, they actually pulled the trigger and they did a title change. And we have a brand new United States champion here on this show. And I am a little bit torn over this for reasons that you could probably expect. We'll talk about the match. There are pros and cons to this, because it really has been the best part of this show. And even though we have a new champion now, I'm hoping that this is not the end of these Open Challenges. That's the only thing that I'm a little worried about. The other thing I'm a little worried about is we got what felt to me like a potential tease for a War Games match. You know, we've been hearing rumors about what the War Games teams are going to be this year at Survivor Series, and we could really look at what's been going on with the Vision, and you had to, figure that, okay, they're going to be on the heel side of things, and you're going to have maybe Roman Reigns will be on the babyface side, or CM Punk. And I'm watching this show tonight, and they are clearly building up a war, and they even use that word, a war, between the MFTs, which is Solo Sikoa's family, and the Wyatt Six. And it felt to me, watching them square up again tonight, we may very well be looking at the men's War Games match for Survivor Series right there. And that does not inspire me at all. It really doesn't. I mean, look, I'm not saying we need the same faces involved in the War Games match every single year, or that it's a bad thing to change it up and have some different faces in there, but this ain't it. This ain't it. I mean, you have two factions right now that are ice cold that nobody really cares about. And you're going to put them in a War Games match? Again, I hope I'm wrong. I'm watching this, and they're all standing there face to face, and this just looked to me like, holy shit, are we going to get a War Games match with these two groups? And on the Wyatt side, if they're going to do it, they need an extra person, because they're one man down. They're not putting Nikki Cross in War Games. Not in that War Games match. But it's possible. Sami Zayn, right? You saw Solo Sikoa come out during Sami Zayn's match tonight. Provided a little bit of a distraction. Not the first time those two have had issues. If the Wyatts need an extra body, an extra man to be on their side in a War Games match, I'm sure Sami Zayn would fill that spot nicely. But is this really what we're looking at? for War Games this year at Survivor Series. I hope not.
Me neither.
Yeah, see, DK in the chat, I agree. See, if they were still doing at least one traditional Survivor Series elimination match, perfect. You could do that. But War Games? Maybe I'm way off base.
Who asked for that? That tells you that, well, they're probably not gonna get the division, because if the division is really done and Rollins had a serious injury, had to vacate the title, and the division's really done, and it's just gonna be Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman, then we're not gonna get those guys in War Games. Now who would Punk gonna choose? Because War Games only makes sense because it's gonna build up the storyline with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. But now Rollins is out, and who Punk gonna choose? If it's not gonna be LA Knight or the Usos or Roman Reigns, I think it's gonna be the MRT and the Wyatt because, well, it can't be division.
To me, War Games, like, there's not enough juice here to get a War Games match out of. I mean, they literally just started beefing with each other on this show.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just it felt to me watching this like that could potentially be where we're headed, and I.
Probably because they want our ideas. You see, we don't need a War Games. You can just do a traditional Survivor Series match. There's no need for a War Games, and now you're gonna run the risk of injury. Because that's what we got last year, where 3 of them got injured. Bronson Reed, I think Tonga Loa, and Jimmy Uso. We certainly don't need a War Games, and they haven't even built that. Because you can't just pair women together and say, yeah, they're gonna be in War Games. It makes no sense.
Nope, that's not the case. But there has been a different vibe on Smackdown over the last couple of weeks. Ever since that report of creative changes came out, Road Dogg was going to get some assistance. You know, he was not being demoted or moved off the creative team. He is still the head writer. But they were going to bring in some new writers to liaison with him and I guess add some fresh voices to the show. It's not a radically different show yet. It may be radically different in a few months. It's not radically different, but there have been enough changes in the last couple of weeks that it's been noticeable. And not even just because we have a new champion crowned on the show tonight, but it's been noticeable. This was a good show. This was a good show. This was not like, oh my God, this was such a great episode of Smack. No, but it was definitely an improvement from what we were getting. That's 2 weeks in a row. Slow and steady wins the race. I hope they continue. There are still changes that need to be made. We still don't know how the U.S. title picture on the women's side is going to shake up on this show. The women's division in general, still very weak. The tag team division on this show, still very cold. And I'm hoping that we get to see some more new faces, on a more permanent basis, called up from NXT, especially on the women's side, because they could use that help here on this show. But if they continue to make changes, then that's a step in the right direction. This is your Friday Night Smackdown review. I am the Solid Monster. It is October 17th, 2017. 2017, oh my God. I don't even know what year it is. 2012. I'm going back in time, baby. You. On that. But I know he's from the Bay Area. Team Navy. So Sol Ruca connected with things out a little bit. US title picture would make a lot of sense. Now backstage, The Miz, who should not be in the US title picture, The Miz was backstage speaking with Nick Aldis when Sami Zayn interrupted, and he wondered, why is there no US title open challenge on the show tonight? And Aldis explained that Shinsuke Nakamura really is still owed after how their previous match ended with the MFTs getting involved. He's owed another shot, but he's not here tonight. He's still over in Japan. They just had their weekend tour of Japan. Or I think they're in the middle of it right now, right? Or how many shows are they doing? I want to say maybe they have another couple of shows this weekend. So anyway, that's where Nakamura is. Plus, he said the MFTs are still lurking around, and you never know when they may get involved. So Sammy didn't give a shit about it. He's like, really? This is why you're not going to let me defend my championship tonight? He wasn't having any of this. And he said, look, I'm going out to the ring. Anybody who wants a shot at my title, they know where to find me. And so up next, we had the Sami Zayn United States Championship Open Challenge, which has become the weekly highlight of this show.
Yeah.
And The Miz came out to accept the challenge, and that groan that you heard was all the way here from New York. I'll cop to it. As soon as Sammy's standing in the ring, as soon as I heard that music, I said, please no. But Carmelo Hayes came out. He attacked Miz from behind, and the two of them ended up brawling to the back, which is great. And that meant that Sammy was still in the ring. He still had no challenger. He needed a challenger here for this open challenge. And that quickly was addressed because we got the return of the Mad Dragon. Yes, Ilja Dragunov. Back on television. And back on Smackdown, not on Raw, which is where he was the last time we saw him. The last time we saw him was in September of last year. So he's been out for over a year. He tore his ACL in a house show match at the end of September last year, fighting Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And he has not been in the ring since. So he came out here, and he looks great. He looks like he bulked up a little bit, put a little bit of weight on, and he's got a knee brace on, and he's got a new neck tattoo. It basically envelops his entire throat. I don't know exactly what it is. Looked like a demon. But it's his whole throat, and it goes down to the upper part of his chest. I don't know what is it with these neck tattoos. Dom just got a new neck tattoo right on his throat, got a lucha mask, and now Dragunov has one as well. But it was great to see him back. I've been waiting for him to come back, because I knew he was basically cleared, and they were just waiting to come up with something creatively for him to do. And it didn't matter. I mean, whatever show he ends up on, he's going to be a great asset, especially to the mid-card on that show, which is where he is right now, and that's fine. Because he wasn't exactly a main eventer the last time we saw him, but hopefully one day you can build him up to that level. But right now, he could dominate, in the mid-card, whether it was the IC title picture, the US title picture. I just wasn't expecting him to be vaulted to the title as quickly as he was here.
Me neither. And he wasn't the main event guy. He should be in the mid-card. Sami Zayn is ready to be the main event guy. If I'm booking the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, you should give it to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is more than ready to be world champion after the great work he did with the US title, the great open challenges, the storyline that we have with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. Your tag team champions with Kevin Owens. He won the IC title, and there was a bit of a storyline that he had with Seth Rollins when he was on Raw, and he beat Karrion Kross at SummerSlam. Sami Zayn is more than ready to be world champion. We should definitely start booking that, hopefully for the Royal Rumble. Now, Dragunov was out for a whole year. He should be in the mid-card first and build himself up.
So, they were in Sacramento tonight. It was Sacramento? Not Sacramento. They were in San Jose.
Alright.
If you're an illegal alien, this runway is your future. Because you're
hold
headed
on.
home.
Tonight's main event. Oh, how many people? For all the hate that he gets, I don't know why. For all the hate Sami Zayn gets, is one of the best pro wrestlers in the entire industry. He doesn't look like the guy that's going to run the fucking place. He doesn't look like the guy that's going to be front and center of every program or on every marquee. He isn't the most attractive guy. He's never going to be the guy. He's never going to be a top guy. We all know that. I think it's a little bit too late for that to even be a possibility. No matter what you do with Sami Zayn, you put him in a tag team, you put him in the middle of the pack, you put him in a main event program, Sami Zayn constantly delivers the most consistent professional wrestling in the entire company. I know everybody just moans and groans when they hear open challenge. I hear open challenge and I moan and groan. It's one of the most easiest, laziest, creative tropes that could possibly be done. From booker to creative to talent. It's an easy way out, and it signals we don't got nothing going on, nothing that's exciting, so we'll just throw an open challenge out there. It gives the audience a little bit of an unpredictability. We'll get an unknown match, a surprise match out of it, and we'll pop the crowd, and they'll go 10, 12 minutes, and that's it. That's it. It's all up to the producers. The creative team doesn't have to worry about doing anything. It's just a simple as simple could be concept. I hate it. I don't like it. Nobody does the open challenge the right way, especially AEW, where it's just, well, here's another fucking loss for so-and-so against Mercedes, or here's another loss for so-and-so against Kyle Fletcher. Open challenges are boring. Sami Zayn has made the open challenge exciting. Sami Zayn has made the open challenge mean something. Sami Zayn has made the United States Championship mean something. Sami Zayn has wrestled 7 straight weeks for the United States Championship, putting the title on the line against all comers, and he's excelled in almost everything that they had him do on this run as United States Champion. Carmelo Hayes, Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, the list goes on and on. We had some Aleister Black, we had some bangers in there, Ray Phoenix, Javon Evans. They saved legitimately the best for last.
Yeah.
They saved the best of the series, the best of the open challenge for last. Tonight, who answered the call? A returning Ilja Dragunov. Somebody that I have absolutely missed on the main roster. Who knows where he would be right now if he never got hurt? He was out for a year. He comes back tonight. He answers the call. After The Miz answered the call, only to be attacked and taken out by Carmelo Hayes, Ilja Dragunov answered the call, and he gave Sami Zayn the best open challenge for the United States Championship since Sami Zayn has created the Sami Zayn Open Challenge. What a fucking banger. An absolute banger, man. You put that on any show, on any PLE, it'll probably be the match of the night. And we got it for free on TV. The only thing that I wish WWE did is Sami Zayn, you know, with the 7 weeks, Corey Graves called it out on commentary saying, well, how much longer can Sami Zayn do this without finally breaking down in a match like this? 7 weeks. He's got to be hurting. I wish WWE told a little bit more of a story going into that final match, which would have inevitably been a loss for Sami. The burden of these open challenge matches every week and the burden of the unpredictability, not knowing who he's going to wrestle every single week, is just tearing him down piece by piece, week by week, until he finally meets that challenge and he cannot fight anymore. That's the only part of this I would have changed. WWE never seemed to tap into that. It's what makes it fun. I like to see that type of thing. Whether it's an open challenge every week, Sami Zayn almost went 2 months. Or someone in a tournament like the Continental Classic, per se, or something that's a long-form tournament. How are they going to hold up? Is there any injuries that they're dealing with that is going to stop them or halt their momentum? Can they overcome it? I love that type of shit. I mean, that's the simplest, easiest story to tell in a format like that. Ilja Dragunov, you know, I don't know how many people had him as their top choice to take the United States Championship off of Sami Zayn. I know a lot of people wanted Obafemi. A lot of people predicted Obafemi. But now we can get maybe an Obafemi versus Ilja Dragunov match when Obafemi gets called up. Ilja Dragunov took the United States Championship off of Sami Zayn tonight, and whether you like it or not, I think that's the right decision. I do. WWE did a masterful job of bringing him back and bringing him to SmackDown, who desperately needs talent. I hate that he's not on the same brand as Gunther, but I don't even care at this point. SmackDown needs all the help that it could get. This was the right decision. And WWE did a masterful job of bringing him back, integrating him into the show, giving him 20 minutes against one of the best performers in the entire industry, and he stood out in front of that crowd where everybody was on their feet and gave these guys a standing ovation when the match was over. That is how you put someone in a winning situation. That is how you get somebody who the fans don't really know or connect with. That's how you get them on board.
Yeah.
I was shocked when the 3 count was made. I didn't think that they were going to do it.
Yeah.
I thought they'd pull a little DQ with the MFTs. But Ilja Dragunov was the right guy.
Yeah,
Absolutely the right guy. He gave Sami Zayn everything he had. And there's No way that Sami Zayn could have overcome the Mad Dragon, man. There's nobody that wrestles like the Mad Dragon.
Yeah, but it's someone new and someone young who deserves it. Now, Sami Zayn, it showed that Sami Zayn deserved to be a world champion. We should definitely start booking Sami Zayn next year to go after the world title. Hopefully, once we get to the Royal Rumble, you can start booking Sami Zayn to win the Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Can you imagine that? Ilja Dragunov, there are guys he can feud with Carmelo Hayes, Nakamura, Aleister Black. There's a lot of potential challenges for him.
Ilja Dragunov is special, man. That is truly a special performer. He is fucking incredible. Incredible. Imagine that we got Gunther and Ilja Dragunov existing on the same WWE roster, but on separate shows. So we basically got a Gunther on Smackdown now, who's going to give you a fucking absolute classic every single time he's out there. There's nobody that wrestles like Dragunov outside of a Gunther. This is a special performer, folks. This is a professional wrestler. Now, the look is a little rough. You know, he doesn't look like the stereotypical fucking top of the card guy. He's not going to be the ace of the fucking brand or anything, but my God, man, if you're going to demand respect from the audience, this guy goes out there and gives you fucking 150% of everything he has. Incredible worker, man. Just an incredible worker. Having him back is such a morale boost. Having him back is such a much-needed shot of adrenaline for either brand. SmackDown's lucky to get him. Really, they need some serious help on SmackDown, and this guy could realistically challenge for the WWE Championship when the time is right. He's a little rough around the edges. He's not the greatest promo, but the guy goes out there, man. He's like one of them down and dirty fucking pub brawlers, man. He's gonna get in there and just beat the shit out of you. It's exactly what this show needs, man. They need that type of guy. Those types of guys are very far and few between, man. But when you get them, man, and you see how they work, man, oh, they are special. And the time off clearly did good for him, man. He looks more unhinged than ever before, man. Did you see that tattoo? He got this new tattoo. I don't know what it was of, but he's got this new neck tattoo that covers his under the jaw and some of his chest kind of protruding out to his shoulders on the ground. This guy was underneath some light rigging. He had some, though I would love to see that. That would be something. Cody Rhodes attacking Jacob Fatu and ultimately going heel?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the case or not, but something seems off in regards to this. Drew McIntyre is the type of guy where his character is basically professing his truth. He feels like he's been wronged. Now, that is a very unpredictable individual. That is a very angry individual when he constantly expresses how he's been wronged. Who knows what he will do and know what he will say. I mean, that is the type of guy Drew McIntyre is right now. He feels wronged. But I don't see Drew...
Need extra cash without a monthly payment? At Finance of America, there's a better way to unlock...
attacked Jacob Fatu, nor do I see Cody Rhodes turning heel. I don't see it. I'm going to point the prediction finger at Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton is the one who attacked Jacob Fatu. Or at least will be the one revealed as the one who attacked Jacob Fatu. I don't know what is going to happen from this point on, but Randy needs to be integrated into something, and I think that is this something. Or this is that something. I feel like him and Cody Rhodes are on a destination course to meet for the WWE Championship. If not, I see Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre both going after the WWE Champion, and we may be looking at a triple threat match at Survivor Series for the WWE title. In fact, I could see Randy Orton turning heel on Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series for the WWE Championship. They need something major happening, man, and WWE is slowly starting to turn that burner up to a medium. I think they are getting back into the groove of telling some really good episodic television lately. Monday Night Raw has largely been the best weekly show out of all 3 weekly shows. And SmackDown is now slowly, we're not there yet because we need some time to see it play out. We need a little bit more time for it to marinate. But 2 weeks in a row, man, that's 14 days here. SmackDown has been a thumbs-up show. If they continue to be just kind of in the zone of telling stories, and they tell the stories that we want to see with the characters that we want to see, we get back to basics, not doing too much or not doing anything at all, which has been what SmackDown has largely been for most of 2025, they are telling stories. They're getting back to basics. I'd like to see them, at least at the top of the card, give us something to sink our teeth into, because not only is Cody Rhodes a great storyteller, both Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are also great storytellers. There should be no reason is for you, and use it as a foundation so that you could write storylines. The guy can't come up with anything. What harm would it do if you give it some ideas and it shoots a storyline out at you, and you got 3 or 4 weeks of fucking episodic things? Now, WWE for storytelling. It's Seth in the ring again, because Seth is probably going to be out for 6 months. Nothing that I've ever produced, ever recorded, has gone up. Fatu and ultimately going heel? I don't know, vision. A good chunk of SmackDown eaten up by those 3 guys to tell us a great story for the biggest title in the some great about the WWE. For that, it's on my second channel if you want to go watch it. The thumbnail includes the Terminator on it. I'll lie for you. It doesn't know. Mingling with the MFTs, they attacked him while he was taking pictures and threw him into a crate before officials came to break it up. Sol Ruka and Zarya. They challenged Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, which these titles are as worthless as the fucking lint in my pocket. I must say, Zarya has an immense presence to her. Her entrance is fucking great.
Hold on. Hold on a second.
Hey, listen.
Goddamn commercial, man. Just showing the highlights of SmackDown.
Checking on her part. But are you prepared for what's waiting on the other side?
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Claire and get a message like from Steven.
There is no timeout in the DWO.
When Uzi is like a gun. Hoodwinked again there. I thought the vignette was presented well. So, yeah, okay, let's,
And why it's 6. I don't know that I'm feeling that as the War Games match.
Alright.
Nobody knows them here. You haven't done anything to get the audience to know them here. They're just here. So Sol Ruka is defending her North American Championship at Halloween Havoc. Blake Monroe, the former Mariah May, was in the crowd. Wow, Chad.
That's the world title. Drew Usher's like, he letting him get his money before he drops the bomb.
It's hard to get into something like this because you know it's not going anywhere, right? Clearly, there's no tag team title implications here. Tag titles are pretty much wrapped up right now with the MFTs and the Wyatts, and they haven't done enough with these teams to really make it worthwhile to invest in what they're doing. So it was a match, and they tied it into the anniversary of them making their debut, so there was that little tie-in there. But it was a match for the sake of doing a match. It's one of those things that people would criticize, and sometimes rightfully criticize Tony Khan for doing. Like this past week, just this week on Dynamite, they're going into a pay-per-view tomorrow. and there's a match on the show with Claudio Castagnoli and Roderick Strong, right?
Maneuvers to Alexa Bliss to sell for Alexa Bliss. Can you imagine that? Believable. You could snap Alexa in half if she wanted to. Bliss tried for charge. She got caught by Zarya, who lifted her. However, Bliss escaped, attempted to assist her Abigail early on. Zarya answered with a huge spine buster, and we go into a commercial break. We come back from the break. Zarya, she has Bliss trapped in the corner with a sleeper hold. She's on the second rope, choking Bliss out with this sleeper hold. Bliss managed to escape, and she tried to reach for a tag to Charlotte Flair. Zarya managed to cut Bliss off. Sol Ruca entered the match and sent Alexa Bliss flying with a tilt-a-whirl down to the ground. Zarya and Sol tried to connect with an assisted diving attack, but Bliss dodged and managed to get to her corner, and Flair got the hot tag. This is when things really got ugly here. Flair blasted both Zarya and Sol Ruca with chops before she connected with her signature somersault clothesline on Sol Ruca, or on Zarya rather. Flair dropped Zarya with a Northern Light suplex, followed by some taunts over to Sol Ruca in the corner. Shortly after Sol got a tag, she went to work on Charlotte Flair with a German suplex in the corner, attempted then a diving dropkick. Flair intercepted and caught her legs to turn that into a Boston Crab. Flair was in position for the Soul Snatcher by Ruca, which looked good, but the setup was terrible. Now, coming out of the Boston Crab, Sol Ruca pushed Charlotte out of the Boston Crab and into the corner. Sol Ruca did not push Charlotte Flair hard enough into the corner, so Charlotte stopped mid-stride into the corner and then basically threw herself into the top turnbuckle to then smash her head on top of the top turnbuckle so that she could eat the following Soul Snatcher from Sol Ruca, which she almost botched. Charlotte, she almost took it the wrong way. Now, I don't know what the fuck was going on here, but Charlotte basically threw herself into the top turnbuckle to set this up for the Soul Snatcher, and it looked fucking terrible. And I'm like, what am I watching here? Charlotte's just flailing about, dancing around, complete botch, what a mess. Like, everything just looks so weak. I don't know what happened there. Bliss managed to break up the Soul Snatcher. She broke the count up at a 2. Outside the ring, Bliss tried to dive at Zarya, but she got thrown against the barricade. Flair interjected with a boot to the face on Sol Ruca, who left from the apron to take down both of the tag team champions, which they then just stood there and waited for her to jump off the top. Ruca then traded some words with Blake Monroe in the front row, which then had her back turned to the champions. Dumb rookie mistake, huh? This opened her up to Flair clipping or chop blocking her from the back. Flair threw Sol Ruca into the ring to proceed to lock in the figure 8, and that was it. Sol Ruca tapped out. 1, 2, 3, and the champions retained. Blake Monroe's involvement here obviously continues the story with Sol Ruca and Blake Monroe going into Halloween Havoc, which I foresee Blake Monroe winning championship gold for the first time in NXT. But this was ugly, man. This was an ugly match. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but tag team division in WWE is absolutely... First of all, there's not even a fucking division. It's fucking criminal to even say it's a division. It's fucking garbage. Whatever it is. Tag team division is absolutely non-existent. You have this team who works on NXT, and then you got the Kabuki Warriors on Raw, and then you got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They put the belts on these fucking ladies to do absolutely nothing with. They had so much momentum when they started as a tag team, when they first started as a tag team, and now they are just like everybody else. Useless. Before long, they're going to break them up and they're going to go their separate ways because there's no fucking division. What are we doing?
In October, every player wants to turn his story into his story.
Doing. WWE has no division. AEW could at least give us something that resembles a division. And I'm not even high on those titles being created, because the only reason why they were created was because AEW, never mind WWE, AEW put the title on Mercedes, the TBS title, and the Women's World Championship on Tony, and basically swallowed the entire division up between both women, leaving everybody absolutely fucking useless.
He killed his sister.
So they needed to create something to make everybody feel like they have something to fight for. Everybody's got to get a consolation prize. There you go. Titles that don't mean anything because we put the other two titles on women that are never going to lose the belts. This was clunky. This was bad. Champions win, as expected. Cody Rhodes was walking backstage as Jacob Fatu had a chat with him. He looked good. I don't know exactly what the problem is, but like I said, the report said it's a non-wrestling related injury. He might be ill. He might be going for something. There might be a family problem. I don't know. None of our business. Fatu said that once he was finished dog walking Drew McIntyre from San Jose to San Francisco, Rhodes would find out that Jacob Fatu is all gas and no brakes. You know what I mean? Guy's nothing but a fucking catchphrase merchant, man. We gotta get this guy to speak words instead of fucking one-line catchphrases that easily go on a t-shirt. Steph Whitted. There was a vignette with Aleister Black. They went over what happened last week with Zelina Vega coming to Aleister Black's aid before he threw a fireball in Damian Priest's face. They finally mentioned here, which I don't know why they wouldn't, that Aleister Black has aligned with his wife, Zelina Vega. They have now put it out there in the open that Black is now paired up with his real-life wife, Zelina Vega. Exactly what needed to be done.
300 cavalry law enforcement officers who did.
Black said that he had been setting this in motion for months now, and that Vega's assistance was a part of the plan all along. We are not the infection, just the mirror that shows it, said Vega of her alliance with Black. They said that the venom wasn't poison, it was salvation. Is Aleister Black going to start a new House of Black in WWE with the first member being Zelina Vega? I don't know. I quite like them just together by themselves. They don't really need anybody else. I think Vega's going to do for Black like she did for Andrade, and I think it's going to completely enhance his character. That's what I at least hope. This is a great role for her. I've been very hard on her character work, and the way WWE's absolutely just buried her creatively. This is a great look for her and a great spot for her, as is the spot that Aleister Black is in working alongside his wife. This is going to be good.
Nobody had to endure.
The Miz.
Nobody in the courtroom.
He was backstage with Nick Aldis.
These people have no
now,
idea what I do
apparently,
every day. And I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about before. Before February.
The Miz asked him to think about something big. Sami Zayn walked in, cut the Miz off. Sami Zayn questioned, Nick, why am I not on the card tonight, and why isn't there an open challenge on SmackDown? Aldis said, well, two reasons. One, first he wanted Nakamura to get a rematch, but he's in Japan this week. Nakamura's owed a rematch for what happened with the MFTs last week. That cost him the United States Championship, so I want to see him get a championship match first. The second was the concern about the MFTs. They're running wild. I don't want them to do the same thing this week that they did to you last week. Zayn protested to Nick Aldis, saying that he can't just hide in the back and be intimidated by the MFTs. Zayn said the United States Championship means something to him. It means something to the other wrestlers looking to get an opportunity, and it means something to the fans who came here tonight to see them. Zayn says he was going to the ring now, and he was going to defend the United States Championship in an open challenge. Whatever the Miz wanted to talk about with Nick Aldis, this big thing, think big. Miz heard everything he needed to hear. Nick Aldis asked him, do you need anything else? And Miz said, no, I think I'm all set. So he wanted to answer the open challenge. That's what that meant. So Sami Zayn comes out for his United States Open Challenge. The Miz, which was made evident by this previous vignette backstage, his promo backstage, from Sami Zayn, the Miz came out to be the challenger. Carmelo Hayes comes out and attacks The Miz from behind, just like The Miz did to him. Simple storytelling. Tit for tat. You did it to me, I'm gonna do it to you. So The Miz is gone, and then we hear Ilja Dragunov. He comes out. He makes his surprise return as the actual challenger for the United States Championship here on SmackDown. The Open Challenge will continue with Ilja Dragunov as the man. This was absolutely not even close. Anything on this show didn't even fucking come close to this. This was easily the best match of the entire night, and easily the best match of the entire Sami Zayn Open Challenge. Fantastic stuff. Dragunov and Zayn, they shared a handshake as the bell rang, and then they started slugging it out one after another. Zayn recovered and lit Dragunov up with some chops. He went for a suplex. Dragunov countered out of the Sami Zayn attempted suplex. Zayn fought out, fights backwards here. Dragunov left Zayn stunned with an enziguri. And then he throws Sami Zayn into the corner and absolutely took him out with a boot to the face. We go right into a commercial break because we can't do anything on this show without a fucking commercial break. We come back from the break. Zayn dropped Dragunov with a clothesline. Both men back up. Zayn and Dragunov get into another exchange of strikes. Neither guy got the upper hand. The stalemate here. Zayn recovered and delivered a tornado DDT in the corner. Dragunov seemed to be stunned off the DDT. Zayn ran at him, ended up eating a jumping kick to the face instead. So Dragunov goes for a quick cover. He got a near fall. 2 count. Zayn tries fighting back. Dragunov's got him gripped, but drops with a German suplex. Zayn eventually escapes Dragunov and nearly got the win on a roll-up, and then he came back with some German suplexes of his own on Dragunov. Dragunov then lifted Zayn up and dropped him with a standing Uranage. Once again, he goes for a cover, he gets a 2 count. Dragunov tried to go to the top. Zayn avoided it and connected with a beautiful Michinoku driver for a 2 count. So, they are again throwing bombs at each other. They're on the apron now. Dragunov tried to get Zayn up on his shoulders. Zayn countered, and instead Dragunov did Zayn with a DDT on the apron, and we go into another commercial break. So this is now the second commercial break in this United States Championship match. We come back from the break. Zayn and Dragunov are punching each other. They're on the top rope. And Sami Zayn, he found himself in a vertical suplex here from Dragunov. And then Dragunov goes up top. Senton, and I mean a fucking beautiful senton off the top rope on Sami Zayn. Only gets a 2 count. Zayn once again goes back up to the top rope. Dragunov again tried to go after him. Zayn took Dragunov down. Dragunov then had Zayn dead to rights here for the H-bomb. Zayn got a boot up to stop it. Zayn's haluva kick attempt was avoided by Dragunov, who then connected with a standing back suplex for a near fall. Dragunov hits the Constantine special, which is basically he kind of 619s himself through the ropes and delivers a clothesline. Bounce back clothesline. He then hits Torpedo Moscow, which is basically a flying headbutt. He goes for a cover. He gets a 2 count. Zayn, haluva kick, Blue Thunder Bomb, 1, 2, and Dragunov barely kicks out of Sami Zayn's big 2 moves. Zayn and Dragunov now. Zayn has Dragunov targeted for a haluva kick. Solo Sikoa comes out. He does not get to ringside, but he walks out, stands on the top of the stage, and does one of these numbers. He's like, all right, Sami, I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you, Sami. But Sami was distracted by Solo Sikoa. So, at this point, Sami immediately turns around, and thankfully, he caught Dragunov, who was coming on in for some offense, caught Dragunov with an exploder suplex in the corner, leveled Dragunov, Dragunov's on his back. So, Solo's distraction actually helped Dragunov here. because Solo really got in Sammy's head. So this gave Dragunov some time to recover. Dragunov intercepted a Luva kick with a Torpedo Moscow. He then finished Sami Zayn off with what he calls the H-bomb. It's just a fucking huge, stalling, flying elbow down to the face, which knocks Sami Zayn out. And I said, they're not going to do it, are they? He covers Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's knocked out. 1, 2, 3. Ilja Dragunov wins the United States Championship with Torpedo Moscow and then a flying H-bomb. And he beats Sami Zayn to become the new United States Champion. This was incredible. Absolutely fantastic match. Best match in the entire series. And honestly, I think it's the right move. I think it's the right move. Zayn and Dragunov targeted for that haluva kick with Solo, man. You know, I thought that they would have maybe gave Sami Zayn another distraction win here, or the NFTs would have come out and caused a DQ or something like that. No, they went right for the United States Championship. Ilja Dragunov, night one, crowned as the champion. After the match, the MFTs did come out. They unleashed some assault on Zayn and Dragunov while Solo Sikoa watched on. Ray Phoenix, who got beat up by the MFTs earlier while taking a photograph, or he was being photographed in the back, he comes on out to even the numbers here, or at least help and aid in the numbers. He gets laid out. Solo Sikoa.
Welcome to my reaction video of horse driving. Because of my
He could continue on with his promo. He was interrupted from a video from the Wyatt Six as Bo Dallas asked Solo Sikoa if he and his MFTs were ready for what was to come on the other side.
Is so fucking.
What's on the other side? I envision a cage. One team in the cage and another team on the outside of the cage. What's on the other side? As the video ended, the members of the Wyatt Six appeared in the darkness, jumping on the apron and staring down the group. The word war was used by commentary not once, but several times tonight. We may be looking at this year's War Games, 4-on-4, with the Wyatt Six and the MFTs. I am not interested in seeing a War Games with the MFTs and the Wyatt Six. I'm not. I think the vision needs to be put together via Paul Heyman's vision, and I think we need to get the War Games with Roman, Punk, and the Usos, and LA Knight. That's what I think War Games should be. We built all year to that, to do whatever we got going on now, which is fabricated in about, 5 weeks? That doesn't speak War Games to me. Maybe they do a traditional 4-on-4 Survivor Series match, but outside that, I don't want to see. I don't even know how that's going to work. Normally, WWE War Games are 5-on-5. Unless they're going to have Nikki Cross in the War Games, I don't see that happening. I don't. Nobody wants to see that. The Wyatt Six, there's nothing interesting about them. The MFTs, nothing interesting about them. They're going to need to do more for me. They're going to need to do more for this viewer here than put fucking face paint on them. I'm not interested in it.
Me neither.
Two dead groups that they're trying to bring back to prominence and get some excitement around. I don't care. I don't care. A Survivor Series match is more than enough. Traditional Survivor Series match for them is more than enough. 4-on-4, go old school, save the War Games for the shit that matters. You've been telling a storyline since WrestleMania. See it play out. Ilja Dragunov is the new United States Champion. Fantastic match. Right winner. Right outcome.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton was interviewed backstage about her loss.
Might as well end the video. I think I made it long enough. I don't make it too long. Actually, wait a minute. I probably should have talked about some of the news and rumors here for AEW. I might show that a little bit. Hold on. See if I can find it here. Might take a while before I end the video. Now I will upload. I'm not sure I'll do AEW Wrestle Dream. Maybe I will. I think I will do a review during the Monday Night Raw review on Monday to see how great the pay-per-view was. I will upload some NBA 2K26 my career videos. Hold on. There's a Good My Work commentary. I'll show him.
Ball to blow a knee out, you know, whether you take that year off or not. So, but yeah, with Rollins, being so injury prone as it appears he might be, you know, plus his body has really gone through hell over the last 10 or 12 years. And his durability is in question now. And that sucks because I was looking forward to seeing this run through for Rollins. But we're going to be talking all about the update with Rollins and his injury and what it might mean for creative plans here in the future, because CM Punk is supposed to face him on November 1st, and that's just in a couple of weeks. So we're going to have to get one way or the other. We're going to have some sort of resolution to the championship situation if Rollins is in fact hurt. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Good to see Tony as well in here. Ben Espinoza, Ajax is in the house. Good to see you, man. Denny Downback at Good Mic Work, and let me know what's going on in wrestling. But didn't specify if he was fighting it. The 90-day period is often referred to as a non-compete, but is actually more of a notice of contract expiration because talent gets paid. PW Insider reported that Andrade would not be getting paid during that non-compete. The conflicting element is that almost in any court situation, to fight it would extend past the 90 days. But there is one thing that differs about this from the norm, and that is that the Wrestling Observer reported that WWE has a clause in their contracts where a person at cause can be, and if they're so strong...
It's a lot worse. 90 days, Andrade might be gone from AEW for 1 year. Okay, hold on.
You know, I'm so glad everybody enjoys my hearty laughter, man. I enjoy a good laugh. I like to laugh. I'm not miserable all the time. Believe me, I'm not. I'm actually pretty decent to be around when I'm in a good mood. But I'm enjoying getting a kick out of AEW's embarrassments and AEW's failures. It's just comedy to me, man. I have to laugh about it. I have to. What else is going to make me laugh besides Tony Khan and him constantly fumbling more than the Jaguars? I'm glad everybody enjoyed yesterday's laugh. I'm glad everybody enjoyed me laughing over the AEW embarrassment. But today there's no laughing matter, bro. Today there's no laughing matter. There's really nothing to laugh about. Yesterday we talked about the Andrade situation and WWE bringing the hammer down after he had already debuted on AEW television again. Returning to AEW on October 1st, attacking Kenny Omega, joining the Don Callis family, and once again finding himself in All Elite Wrestling. He then disappeared for 3 weeks. He went on to win the Crash Heavyweight Championship in Mexico. And then we never seen or heard of him again. He wasn't even mentioned by name, or the attack on Omega wasn't even brought up on commentary. Everybody started just wondering where Andrade was. We come to find out yesterday that WWE sent a cease and desist to AEW and brought the hammer down on Andrade, giving him a 90-day non-compete after he had already signed an AEW contract. Yes, it was funny. And yes, it's very stereotypical of WWE to do something like that. It's within their boundaries to do something like that. It's standard protocol with the 90-day non-compete. But we discussed that Andrade, he wasn't really outright released like a budget cut or WWE just cutting roster. He was outright fired. And we didn't know if that actually came with a 90-day non-compete. AEW didn't do their due diligence. Their AEW's legal team there, they didn't really go and investigate what was going on with this. They did no groundwork whatsoever. They did not investigate if he had a 90-day non-compete. If he did, how do we work around that? They just assumed that Andrade didn't have a 90-day non-compete. They brought him to television, and they made themselves look like a bunch of fucking idiots. It's exactly what they made themselves look like. Egg on their face. I love when they embarrass themselves. It's fucking so terrible. It's a sloppy shop. It's amateur hour over there. We all know that. After 6 years, we definitely now know how AEW company and want to run a pro WWE as WWE. Thank you guys very much for joining me here on Office. As the talent would get paid. I won't be surprised if WWE sues AEW for contract tampering, because that's a possibility too. There were actual non-competes in the past, such as Brock Lesnar when he left WWE in 2004. Per the terms of his release, he signed a non-compete for years and wasn't getting paid. However, that didn't hold up in court. Lesnar even changed the name of his F5 finish to The Verdict, says Sapp. WWE staff, roster, and sources also believe he was gone from the company with no additional time left on his deal ever since Andrade was fired by WWE. Under normal circumstances, WWE could technically ask him to come back to work for their TV, but that would undermine the wellness policy element of his departure. No age, which means what? Which means what exactly? It would undermine the wellness policy element of his departure. So did he fail 3 tests and then get terminated? WWE could bring him back to television, but then that would mean the wellness policy violations, and the wellness policy itself is a complete sham. So did he fail 3 tests, which led to his termination? I don't know, you gotta ask. No agents we spoke to, says Sapp, have ever heard of pay being docked during a wellness policy violation either. Well, when you fail multiple tests, and the company looks at that as a potential for you failing the test as a way out of the company, well, they have every right to dock your fucking pay and not pay you during your non-compete. Just saying. We're told by AEW sources that his absence did affect immediate creative plans for AEW Dynamite and Wrestle Dream, as did the unfortunate Kota Ibushi injury. Sure thing. What did Kota Ibushi do before the injury? He wasn't even on fucking TV. What did the injury derail creatively? They don't even know what they're doing creatively for Wednesday. You know when they'll find out? On Wednesday. What the fuck they're doing on Dynamite. However, there appears to be no bad blood towards Andrade, and the working plan is still for him to compete in AEW when the situation is cleared up. We'll be asking Tony Khan about this on the... That I'm supposed to be on.
I'm going to end the video. Until next time, hit that like button, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. I made it long enough. I'll see y'all later. Until next time, this is Jacob Cat 2024.